what is stress? Stress is your body's way of responding to any kind of demand. So anything that you do is going to have a reaction. Like everything that we experience causes something to happen within ourselves and within our emotions. Through like, it can be like any kind of senses. So like maybe you feel like your hands getting sweaty, or like maybe your eyesight starts to get blurry when you feel like really stressed out. Um, uh, um, it's also important to understand that stress is caused by good things and like bad things. So there can be like an amount of positive stress in your life. So I'd say with some good stressors could be maybe like you're about to take a test. I guess that's not maybe very relatable for, I mean, I'm not taking many tests now, but maybe you have to pass some sort of evaluation. And I'd say that could be a good stress in your life. Or
like whether or not to take a job, or like maybe you decide which college you're going to go to. Maybe that's a good stress, but it's stress.
mhm. Yeah, so it can be caused by good or bad experiences. Maybe you're just like stressed about seeing like an old friend, but it might be like a good stress, and overall like good things will come out of the situation, even though it might be kind of stressful and awkward. Um, yeah, so we react to the stress through our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Um, so you can experience physical stress and emotional stress. So physical being like all the things we talked about before with your senses, and emotions, and emotional stress being like your thoughts and feelings.
Okay, so some of the effects of stress on the body, there is a phenomenon that happens when people are stressed, and I would like to emphasize that there are 4, and apparently I just learned a 5, but 5 responses that the body has when you are stressed. The most common is fight or flight, but then there's freeze, faint, and apparently fawn is the 5th one. So with what happens is you release adrenaline and cortisol into the system. So it kind of is like a boost of energy, and that is designed to get you through bad situations when, like, way back when. And even now, it makes our heartbeat faster, and we go from using the thinking part of our brain to the responsive side of our brain. So we are more impulsive when we're under stress. We don't think as well, and it causes our brain to seek, because of that, it causes our brain to seek quick responses and choices. So I am going to play a video. Yes.
Disturbing events.
Better now?
For example, being startled
She
or
typed
frightened,
in the chat people who have lost loved
getting
ones.
into an argument with someone,
And Tracy,
speaking in front of the
Tracy and
class
Abby said
or a
that
large
they
audience.
don't have mics, so they will be
Our
taking
bodies
off.
automatically react by releasing cortisol and adrenaline into our bloodstream. This causes a burst of energy, which makes our hearts beat faster, sending more blood supply to our larger muscles. And we go from using the thinking and reasoning part of our brain to the reaction and response side. This causes us to make quick decisions and choices without always thinking them through. These reactions are called the fight or flight or freeze response because they prepare us to either fight and confront the situation, or flight, escape the situation, or freeze and do nothing. Body cells release energy faster, and we can experience a number of things like our breathing increases, muscles tighten, the pupils of our eyes get wider, our hearing can get heightened or decrease. These reactions can cause us to experience tunnel vision, where the scenes we are experiencing can slow down, as if we are in slow motion, or speed up considerably. The energy can give us a burst of strength, causing us to react with more force and strong reactions, or even freeze and do nothing. All of these examples can be the results of how our body and mind respond to the threatening challenges or disturbing events, causing stress and releasing chemicals in our bodies to prepare us to fight, flight, or freeze.
Okay, so what kind of response do you think you have? Do you think when you're stressed that you usually freeze? Do you fight back? Or
watch this. One little piece of paper can have a remarkable effect. Stress is stressful. But if you understand a bit about what it is, you'll be better able to deal with it. First though, take a few deep breaths. In fact, do that anytime you feel stressed. It helps. Stress is a survival mechanism. When danger appears, it can get you out of trouble quickly. Your body crashes up the gears and throws all its resources into getting you moving. Your heart pumps furiously to increase blood pressure, glucose is sent to the muscles as a fuel injection, and you become totally focused on what psychologists call fight or flight. Thing is, this emergency state is only meant to last just long enough to get you out of danger. But here in the 21st century, we stress about different things, and for much, much longer. Your brain and body stay on red alert, and you'll be less able to think clearly, learn, or remember things. Take a few more deep breaths, because as you now know, stress is a physical reaction, and deep breathing helps to counteract its effects. So, what else can you do? Okay, top tips to reduce stress. First, get plenty of exercise. Let out all that locked up energy. Now, back to the problem. Get in control. Scope out the situation and how you're going to tackle it. Don't stress alone. Talk to someone. Socialize. And have a laugh. You can't laugh and quake with fear at the same time. Get down with nature on a big or small scale. And if your mind won't stop worrying, give it something else to do instead.
you know, I find popping those bubbles from packages to be very stress relieving. So speaking of stress relieving, what things do you guys normally do to cope with stress? Rewatching Vampire Diaries, listen to music. Okay. Walk, play, music, doodle. Yeah. What are some bad coping mechanisms that you can do? And what are some good coping mechanisms? What's the difference? What do you think?
I think bad coping mechanisms is whatever just makes whatever you're feeling worse. Like the good ones usually like calm you down, and the bad ones just make you angrier or more frustrated.
Right. Or it's like putting a Band-Aid. So like stuff like overeating, or it may make you feel good in that minute, but then after a while you're like, why did I eat all that? I don't feel good no more.
Like staying up all night. I think that that's something I used to do in high school.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm so stressed. I just have to like stay up and get everything done. And then like the next day, it's like, well, my test doesn't go that well because you're just not sleeping enough, or like you're just worrying, and then like I think that's a bad coping mechanism that I definitely used to do a lot.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
anything that is causing damage to you physically, whether it's chemicals, smoking, alcohol, drugs, obviously those are not good coping mechanisms, self-harm, things of that nature. Those are the
Yeah.
things those are indicators that we look for as educators, and working with young people. So those things that are causing physical harm, those would be, negative, what I would call negative.
Can a good coping mechanism turn into a bad coping mechanism? For example, I know for me, I love to read. And back when I was in school, I would read all the time and it would help my stress. But it got to the point where I was always reading and putting everything off. Would that turn into a bad copingism for that kind of example?
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess I haven't really thought of that. I guess anything to the extreme is, I don't know. Anyone else?
Yeah, I think it's, that's, it's kind of subjective, kind of depends on you and the person, and,
Mhm.
everything in moderation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so now we can talk a bit about responding versus reacting. Oh, I'm seeing a chat.
So
Kaylee
yeah,
said, I like to listen to music or pop like a little stress reliever fidget. That's a great way. And then Ayana said, ignoring it. That's Casey.
Casey.
Yeah, I would go to my dance studio all the time and wouldn't pay attention to what I had to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
relatable.
We all want an escape, and sometimes escaping from the problem is not always the best solution. Maybe for a temporary, sure, but you always got to confront your problems, right?
Mhm.
At some point.
Even though it can start
Else
as a
it's
good
gonna go
coping
away.
mechanism, yeah, I guess if you do it too much,
Mhm.
your problems are still there, or like the things you have to do are still there, not problems, but
Yeah.
responsibilities.
Yeah.
So responding versus reacting. So responding is more like when you're in that stress mode, and you're realizing that you're in that stress mode, and you're doing things to negate your automatic response, your unhealthy automatic response, which you might want to do, which might be like lash out or yell or say like, I don't have time for you, like
I hate you.
So I guess with siblings is something I can definitely think of. Is like when you see something that's wrong, like, or like you see something that's stressing you out, like maybe your sister steals your shirt, seems like a classic example, and you want to be like, what are you doing? Like, how could you do that to me? I was gonna wear that. But it might actually make the problem worse, instead of just reacting and like just kindly asking for it back and telling that person how that made you feel, and like recognizing and being honest with what you're experiencing, but in a way that's more constructive instead of just reacting. Your first reaction might be to shout.
One way to help switch from responding to or reacting to responding is take a deep breath, like I said in the video. Pause, breathe, 4 counts breathing technique. So just breathe in, count to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out. Focus on relaxing and think how you want to respond. So maybe you reacting, you get angry, you say something that you didn't want to say, or you didn't mean. Instead, how you want to respond perhaps is, why did that happen? Let's talk it out. Let's work it out. Not, you're angry, but calmer. So another way to this is introducing mindfulness. So mindfulness means maintaining a moment by moment awareness of our thoughts, feelings, body sensations, and surroundings of our environment. So taking a pause and think to yourself, how am I feeling? What am I feeling? What are you feeling right in this moment? Tell me, what are you feeling in this moment? Are you calm? Are you stressed? Are you angry? Are you upset? What do you feel? Like, I know I've been kind of stressed all day, so I'm starting to like calm down now that everything is like slowing down, taking deeper breaths.
So Margot, what's your question?
How are you feeling in this moment?
Like right now, this moment?
Yes.
Oh, I'm chill. Yeah, I'm I'm uh I'm just chilling. I'm doing artwork. You know, I'm just kind of relaxing.
Yeah. Calm. What else?
What are you working on? What's your
Who,
artwork?
me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just doing, you know, it says priority people.
Ooh.
So yeah, which I think just a lot of the content in the subject matter, you know, talked about putting people first, you know, so, and that's kind of my mantra as well, you know, so priority people, not programs, not pedagogy, not problems. We need to deal with people and as a whole. So yeah, so yeah, so I've just been kind of chilling and so I'm just like real.
So you're practicing a good coping mechanism.
It's my go-to because I always have paper and pencil, so I just kind of doodle, you know, wherever I'm at.
Yeah.
I love it.
What about someone else?
Ayana said she is calm in the chat.
Mhm. No one else would like to share? I'm frustrated at the moment. Why are you frustrated, Valia? Ate some thriving.
So my friend, she keeps on. Okay, these people are just they're toxic towards her, and she ends up blocking them because they're just not good people, and she knows that they're not good for her. Then she keeps on like going back towards them. Like I don't know, she complains about them all the time. Then she goes back to them, and it's very frustrating because she's kind of like I don't. It's very.
Wait, you
Yeah.
cut off.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, sorry. Well, basically, she keeps running back to talk to people when she knows they're not good for her, and it's just frustrating that she can't see like her worth, and she's just. It's not in my control. I know that, but it's just frustrating to watch.
Yeah, I think that part you said about things not being in your control is really important to
Mhm.
think about, because the things that are not in your control, like even though you do stress over them, I think recognizing that is a big part of overcoming your stress and
Yeah.
like going to that chill
Letting
mode.
things go. Yeah, letting things go.
And yeah, I've been in a situation where you just want the best for people and you want the best for your friends and for your family.
Mhm.
But the
There's
only thing you can really control is yourself.
Yeah, there's a euphemism is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it go. Valia, we're going to practice some deep breathing. Let's see if that helps. Give me a second.
And today I'll be leading you through a 3-minute relaxation session. So first, find a chair, have your feet on the ground, sit up straight, and have your arms resting comfortably by your sides. I'll play some relaxing music to set the atmosphere. It helps to close your eyes, but if that's not comfortable for you, then don't worry. The most important thing here is for you to feel as comfortable and relaxed as possible, because the more comfortable and relaxed you are, the better the results. So when we start, focus on your breathing. You just learned the 4-count breathing process. Breathe in, hold it, breathe out, hold it. Nice deep breaths. Picture breathing in fresh air, and when you exhale, breathing out tension and stress. If you start having trouble focusing on your breathing and your mind starts to wander onto other things, don't worry. This is natural. Just reel yourself back in and try to focus again on your breathing. Okay, let's get started. So feet on the ground, spine straight, arms resting comfortably by your sides. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, and let's begin. Breathe in, hold it, breathe out, hold it. Breathe in, hold it, breathe out, hold it. Okay, now I will stop leading you and let you do this breathing technique on your own. Remember to keep breathing. Breathe in, hold it, breathe out, hold it. If your thoughts are wandering, don't worry. Just focus back on your breathing. This ends the 3-minute relaxation session. Open your eyes and just sit for a few seconds and adjust. I really hope you enjoyed it. The more you practice relaxing, the easier it becomes. This was a short 3-minute session, but you can do this for however long is comfortable for you. For more information on mindfulness, check out the information in the resources section.
So, how did that make you feel?
Sleepy.
That's what I was thinking too.
What else? I feel less tense. Yeah. That's good. Anyone else would like to weigh in? I want food from watching that. Is that weird? No, that's not weird. And that sounds good. Yeah. Okay. Do you think this is something that you would incorporate in on when you need to? Or are you thinking, nah, that won't work? Yes. Yeah. Good. So what are some things that you learned from this lesson today? What did you take away? It's not just me. Yeah, it's common. We're not alone. What else? What really spoke to you? That we shouldn't hold on to our stress. We need to de-stress somehow. Yeah, totally.
For me, I think it's always just understanding that there are good coping mechanisms and bad coping mechanisms. And I think, to your point, Margot, can a good coping mechanism become a bad one? And I had never really thought of that. I just kind of categorized them as either or, not one kind of becoming from good to bad. So I think being aware of is what I'm doing to cope with this stress a good thing or a bad thing. And so that's a takeaway for me.
Mm-hmm. Good.
I think
I'm
that's
glad I
something
taught you something.
something that I've like really thought of since I first learned this lesson. And this is actually one of the ones that like resonated most with me is like realizing when you're stressed. Like I feel like I've never done that before. And since I have, sometimes I've been like, oh, why am I stressed? Like being able to identify what's causing you stress, where it's coming from, like what like you might be able to do about it instead of just like ignoring it and not even realizing that it's that you are stressed. I think sometimes I'm like, why do I feel like I need to like run around right now? But since I've realized that it's like, oh, seems like you're kind of stressed, and you can feel it in your body, and like recognizing like the
Mm-hmm.
physical response that I have, and knowing that that's stress now has been really helpful.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing too, like Ayana said, it's not just you. You're not the only one who goes through stress. We all go through stress. We may handle it a little bit differently, but you're not alone. And it's okay to ask people for help when you're stressed, because there's some things that you just can't do alone. And so to know that you have your support there, and to know the people who you can turn to for support, like a trusted adult or your friends or family member that you can go to with anything, for anything, no matter what. And that's important. Thank you guys for paying attention and listening. It was nice being here with you guys.